The masses are no longer caught up in ideology, they are caught up in simulation. They do not resist simulation, they internalize it. Baudrillard. Thanks for reading the Land of Make-Believe newsletter. Subscribe for free to receive new posts and support my work. America's heroes defending free speech, the recent fight. The oligarchy rally featuring Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in Idaho, hailed as a progressive call to arms against corporate greed and social injustice, a joke of epic proportions, was disrupted by a Free Palestine protester whose banner was swiftly removed by security. The irony of this moment is hard to miss. A rally supposedly championing grassroots activism, civil liberties, and anti-imperialism reacted with suppression to a plea for Palestinian liberation, a cause often aligned with the very principles Sanders and AOC claim to represent. The banner, which read Free Palestine, was draped over an American flag, a symbolic gesture that seemed to momentarily suspend the right to dissent in a space that billed itself as radical and inclusive. The masses scandalously resist meaning. They absorb all the signs and messages, all the cultural subproducts, all the ideological byproducts, without letting themselves be affected in the least. Baudrillard. In a striking parallel, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, another so-called free speech champion, speaking at a rally in her home district in northwest Georgia, warned attendees that if any protesters spoke out, they would be dragged out and handed over to the authorities. Her brand of politics, marked by open hostility toward dissent, saw security guards even tasing the protesters as they were dragged out. And yet, the authoritarian instinct to control the narrative and exclude disruptive voices surfaced in both spaces, albeit cloaked in different rhetoric. One side expels in the name of security and order, the other, paradoxically, does so in the name of revolutionary decorum. The whole system becomes weightless. It is no longer anything but a gigantic simulacrum. Not unreal, but a simulacrum. That is to say, never exchanged for the real, but exchanged for itself, in an uninterrupted circuit without reference or circumference. This is the orbital nature of the system, the insanity of a hyper-real nebula that is no longer either true or false. Baudrillard. Both instances expose the fragile threshold of tolerance in contemporary American politics, even among those who speak the language of liberation. What unites these moments isn't ideology but performance, political rallies as curated events, where dissent is welcome only if it reinforces the script. Whether draped in a keffiyeh or waving a Gadsden flag, the protester who disrupts the carefully constructed theatre is cast out, a threat not to policy but to control. The deeper irony lies in the shared choreography of exclusion, left and right mirroring one another in their intolerance for discomfort, as if the true enemy of both is the unscripted voice that dares to interrupt. The mass man does not need to be indoctrinated anymore, he only needs to be kept busy. In this way, he becomes the functionary of his own stupefaction. The Obsolescence of Man, Vol. Anders and Baudrillard sketch a disturbing anthropology of the late modern subject. Not tragic or heroic, but strangely over-adapted. Not fooled, but unable or unwilling to intervene. A being whose obedience is not demanded, but engineered through abundance, simulation, and the slow death of the real. This is no longer the tragic man of Greek fate or Christian guilt. It's something far more uncanny. The comfortable, insulated, post-heroic subject who participates in his own disappearance by mistaking saturation for fulfillment.